Hey everybody, this is Perch. A handful of comic news, new comics, things that we see as we head into 2022. First of all, as you all know, Nonstop Spider-Man, which actually stopped multiple times, has stopped officially with its final issue of the series. But it was teased that, what do you do when you have a title that's long delayed and then was in theory supposed to be ongoing, but then wasn't, and then just ended? Well, you tease the next series that's going to follow this one, of course. That's the most logical thing to do, and that has been teased as Savage Spider-Man. So taking a page, what appears to be from the symbiote Spider-Man kind of approach that Peter David's been up to, Savage Spider-Man, written by Joe Kelly, art by Gerardo Sandoval. It is skipping Chris Bachalo, who's on something else going on for Marvel that we don't entirely know yet. This series begins in, we think, February. It's maybe. We're not entirely sure. But anyway, Savage Spider-Man is coming out. This will have Spider-Man is turned into a savage beast, basically a Spider-Man spider. He's got a big ass. So I won't make the joke. Anyway, so he is very intense. It's the thematic sequel to Nonstop Spider-Man that's promising a book so intense you're going to need to put it down between pages to get your breath back. Well, also, it's going to be expensive. So if you put it down, it's going to stretch out that experience a little bit and probably make you feel a little better about the money you spent. But anyway, Gerardo Sandoval, of course, has a kind of sketchy style. It probably will fit into this overall kind of savage look for Spider-Man. So we have that coming. And it is being listed as book 1 or issue 1 of 5. So right out the gate, we're not calling this a ongoing series. We are calling it a limited series, and that's probably better. That's what they really intended anyway. I assume for Nonstop Spider-Man, but maybe they. Who knows? Anyway, but COVID got in the way of Nonstop Spider-Man. Chris Bachalo actually got COVID-19. He's recovered, but that's where it's at now. So February 2022, Savage Spider-Man number 1 of 5, not to be confused with Symbiote Spider-Man or regular Amazing Spider-Man or whatever other Spider-Man things are going on at the time. The other piece of news in terms of the Marvel Universe. Hey, remember when last week was the anniversary of Luke Cage? And that was kind of a big deal, and we were going to get a bunch of celebrations for Luke Cage that included a 3-part limited series to celebrate him. Yeah, I thought that was pretty lame too. But anyway, we're beyond that now. I mean, that's old news. And we're going to be talking about 2022, which is the 50th anniversary of Ghost Rider, who debuted in 1972, Marvel Spotlight number 5. And there appears to be an announcement of a new ongoing title. So Luke Cage is not worth, he's worth 3 issues. He's a 3-issue guy, but Ghost Rider is getting a new ongoing title. What do we kind of surmise from that? Marvel's racist. No, I'm kidding. Well, we'll let Twitter take it from here. Anyway, there's a little promo image there done by Ryan Stegman that features kind of all the Ghost Riders, Johnny Blaze, Danny Ketch, Kashula, who has a recent title out that Marvel's pushing pretty hard right now. The Phantom Rider, that character that had the awkward storyline in West Coast Avengers with Mockingbird. The Ghost Rider of the 30th century, the Ghost Rider of the year 2099, Robbie Reese, who's current member of the Avengers, Alejandra Jones, who is in King in Black, the first Ghost Rider, who wrote a Woolly Mammoth and is in Jason Aaron's run, Cosmic Ghost Rider that Donny Cates created, a U.S. Civil War era Ghost Rider known as Caleb. Guessing they're going to have that character fighting for the North, but we'll see. And then Vengeance, who is a member of this Ghost Rider family. Remember that video about all the different families of heroes? There's a lot of Ghost Riders. Anyway, we're getting a brand new Ghost Rider title, and given the promo art and given how they're billing it, it feels like an ensemble cast of a ton of Ghost Riders that are going to be all in this book doing Ghost Rider-y stuff. Anyway, it's called The Year of Vengeance, which I think most of us would agree was what 2020 was called. But anyway, 2022 will be the Year of Vengeance, 50-year anniversary of Ghost Rider, and we're getting some kind of ongoing title that's supposed to be announced later this week with the creative team. So a lot of stuff going on there. Poor old Luke Cage is still sitting there with his 3 comics. So that's a shame. Anyway, and then Jason Aaron, who's currently writing the Avengers and then also working on Avengers Forever, which is being called a series. I mean, I have to believe that is a limited series and not a full-blown series. But they're listing it. They're listing it as just a series, but again, that means really nothing. Anyway, and he's also working on the King Conan limited series, which looks to be one of the last Conan comics, or I don't know. It seems like Conan's wrapping up a bit. But we have Jason Aaron saying that there's a fourth series still to be announced that is coming. And my guess is, if I'm throwing it out there, it will be Avengers related. It will be some kind of event type thing. Marvel, only has about 4 or 5 events announced for next year. That's well under their, 16 event quota that they typically go for. So that we were getting another comic. My guess is it's Avengers related out of Jason Aaron, but he is saying it's a series and not a one shot. So we'll see. But Jason Aaron continues to kind of sit on top of the Avengers franchise. It felt like he was wrapping it up or heading to a conclusion, and there are a couple comments to that effect. But then we tipped over into this Avengers of the Multiverse stuff, and it's just still going. So, who knows? We're also, there's a long overdue Jason Aaron, Donny Cates team up that has been talked about and promised, but not sure where all those goes. Cates, of course, is now doing his stuff with Substack, so who knows if he's still, if that's still a thing. But at any rate, Jason Aaron, more Jason Aaron comics are coming if you're interested in that. So, next, you remember CM Punk? CM Punk, the wrestler who briefly had a handful of comics that he did for Marvel. This was back, I believe, when he rolled out of the WWE somewhat unexpectedly, and he did the Thor annual. He co-wrote Thor annual #1, and then he did the Drax series, the limited series for Marvel, and then he wrote a 1 issue of Master of Kung Fu for, I think this was during the Marvel Legacy deal, but. The CM Punk hasn't written a lot of comics. For whatever reason, he gets promoted pretty heavily as a comic writer, one of the kind of celebrities. Lots of people, of course, have come in and written comics from outside of the world of comics. But CM Punk is saying that he does have an offer to do a comic book publisher, from a comic book publisher, to do a creator-owned project. He said that it doesn't sound like he has anything active at Marvel or that he's really talking to Marvel at the moment. He's also, of course, busy with AEW since he has returned to wrestling, so it's unclear when or if this is coming. He seems kind of to basically refer to that as being fun, something he'd like to do at some point, but no real signs or indication of when that exactly is going to be or if it will ever be. So that's more or less what we've got. So to recap everything here, we have Savage Spider-Man coming out, confirmed as a 5-issue series. We've got 2022 being the year of Vengeance, or year of the Ghost Rider. Feels like Vengeance is going to be set up maybe to be the big bad, and all the Ghost Riders are going to have to come together, maybe because Vengeance has found multi-universal power as it relates to the Infinity Gems and, I don't know, some other thing that Marvel hasn't driven into the ground. And we've got Jason Aaron coming in with another title for Marvel. Obviously, he's got quite a bit going on already. And then CM Punk saying that a return to comics may happen at some point, and he's been approached, but no firm word on that. Do you care? Is anybody out there screaming for CM Punk to come back to comics? I don't think his Drax series was particularly good. It didn't really move the needle in any real way over at Marvel, certainly, but why not, right? I mean, whatever people like. This is what's coming out in comics. So 4 little pieces of news, more stuff for Marvel, as we continue to look at kind of what the next year is all going to hold for Marvel and DC and new comics and everything getting shuffled around. See if some of these Substack things finally start going to press. There you go. Lots going on. What are these new titles? Are you buying? Do you care? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for listening.